see if you could see what was going on. Right before I was about to go live, a number from Vegas called me. I lived in Vegas for a little while, and it was one of those Vegas Democrats trying to convince me to vote for Joe Biden. So I was just playing like, we have you down as nonpartisan. Like, this is what I mean. All your information is given out right from the DMV. There's a ballot that's generated that's sent to me, a mail-in ballot, because I got a license in Clark County, which is Las Vegas, right? And this is what I'm talking about. Now there's going to be a bunch of immigrants or undocumented workers who are going to get a driver's license, because I think the state of California, Nevada, Arizona had figured, okay, we have illegal immigrants here, or undocumented workers, whatever you want to call them. I don't think that any human's illegal, but they might as well be able to drive good if they're going to be cutting our lawns and picking our fruit and whatnot. So let them go through the whole process of making sure that they get insurance, and, they can collect the money that way and all the fees at the DMV. But then they generate a ballot. That undocumented worker will never even touch that ballot. It will be sent back, returned to sender. It will end up in a nefarious person's hands. So this whole confusion from the Republicans, like, we got to stop illegals from voting, and also stop the process of the establishment Democrats who are using that to their advantage, right? And I think that's what's going to happen right now. I think within the talks behind the scenes, the established Republicans have picked up how to cheat properly, how the Democrats did it last time, and try to beat them at their own game. So they're going to have their own informants, or there's going to be lone wolves who are conservative that are going to do the same thing and exploit the ballots that are out there, because they understand it's not about getting a voter to cast a vote. It's about getting a ballot to cast a vote. And that's the game we're left with this time. I mean, there's so many things that are up for grab, but that Democrat was calling to try to convince me to vote for Joe Biden. And I started asking her questions. Her name is Ellen. She's going to call me back. But I thought maybe we could have plugged that into the show and had a little fun there for 1 second.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's always fun. I love pushing back on these guys, because you might actually plant a seed with them and they'll take it with them, because not too many people do it. So I love that. That's a great story. We'll try to get on to the next one, or if she calls back, we'll see if we can do something with that. But that's great. It's very inspiring. Craig, you noticed that we have had a few little issues here with StreamYard, I think, because we have full power here, but I don't know if you're seeing. How's your end looking on right now? Because we're moving on with the show. I want to make sure we're all good.
On the StreamYard, I always look good, but when I always go over and look at the YouTubes, which I will go to right now and see how that looks. Let me see. I think I'm on. I think I went on my Twitter and the Pasta to Go YouTube. Yeah. So right now I'm looking decent on the YouTube. It looks like. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking okay. There's going to be a lot of gremlins out there right now. I mean, everything is just so, man.
It's insane. We have to roll with so many punches. Like, it's crazy today, even just like having these conversations up till now with you now. This is like I feel like it's my first breather to like be like, man, it's been wild. These first 2 hours have been wild. I'm glad you're here with me now, Pasta. We do have our next guest standing by right now. So I think we're good. We're going to continue on this stream. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any big issue, but I think we're good. So let's move ahead. Yes.
And I just like to reiterate really quick. I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but there was Vault 7, I believe, show that the intelligence apparatus has other ways of technically suppressing us, as well as just, hiding us and demonetizing us. So I believe these things are not just accidental, what we're experiencing right now. Matt, I believe they are by design. So thank you for everybody who's hanging in there with the technical issues, because it is not conspiracy theory to say that they're doing this to us on purpose. They want all independent media gone, right? They want it all frigging gone, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue, Matt.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and give them a proper intro, but this is what's happening right now on the ground. This story is happening in real time. So just to update you guys who haven't been following it for the last few days, Israel has detonated more devices a second time in Lebanon now, totaling what we're hearing is to be over 5,000 people injured, including hospital workers, passerbys, and children. Of course, the U.S. intelligence, mainstream media, all these a-holes, they're playing dumb about the whole thing, saying we don't know. Even though Motorola is a U.S. company, that's who's providing the pagers, at least the first attack. And now again, there's a second attack, and now there's word, and we're getting word from the ground right now that Lebanon is gearing up to retaliate against Israel. If not, if already has happened, we have to keep up on this in real time, like minute by minute. So right now, we're very fortunate to have him. But for more on this story, which is unfolding, like I said, by the minute, let's go ahead and turn back again to our foreign correspondent who is on the ground, an undisclosed location. Hopefully, he'll tell us where he's at. But right now, please welcome back to the show, independent journalist Renzo Zindi. Hey, Renzo, are you there? You're there.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I was worried. I was worried about the connection, but we can hear you crystal clear.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually in Philadelphia right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I was trying to get to Lebanon just because it seems like the war is about to start there for sure. It seems like, I mean, just today alone from 6 starting. This is Tel Aviv and Beirut time, but it was like 6 a.m. Since 6 a.m. this morning, there's been over 100 airstrikes in southern Lebanon, which is a significant increase from what Lebanon is normally used to experiencing since October 8th. And so I think, yeah, the wars, I mean, they're even bombing parts of Syria as well. Israel is.
Isn't it cool how a country that's bombing 4 countries right now, one state that's bombing 4 countries, could somehow play the victim?
It's incredible. I mean, this is very unfortunate because it seems like this is, if you know military doctrine, this is called prepping the battlefield, is what Israel is doing right now. They are heavily airstriking the parts that they intend on moving: infantry, engineers, supporting elements, armor, personnel carriers to these locations. And that's what we did in Iraq. That's what we did in Afghanistan. This is military 101 doctrine. You prep the battlefield, you bomb it heavily, and then you move in on the rubble and try to occupy the rubble, essentially, and submit your will upon the area. Basically, it's called softening it up, and it appears that's the direction we're headed. Obviously the detonations of the pagers, and then the following day it was the ICOM radio, as I believe, was verified. There was some discussion about phones and car radios also exploding as well. But I was unable to verify those. So that was just to me. But ICOM radios were 100% certain exploding yesterday. So, and sorry about that. No. And yeah, I forgot to turn Telegram off. Hold on one sec. There we go. Yeah. Sorry about that. And and essentially that was one escalation, and then they're kind of essentially Israel's pulling aces out of their sleeves, so to speak, is what they would call it, and kind of showing their hand in an escalatory manner. And really the next step is a ground invasion after these airstrikes are concluded in southern Lebanon. And you can tell just by I don't know if you guys have ever used the website. It's called Live UA Map, but I contribute to it. I help design it and the software for it, for where people can log in any country and essentially put news forth that we might have missed in a certain location that's under conflict. So it's very unbiased. We let anyone, doesn't matter, it could be a Hezbollah member, they can, or a Hamas member, if they have access to the internet, they can log in. And if as long as they're an accredited source and they can verify themselves as an accredited source, we will put their story up there. Or we will put what they, we will use them as accredited source and post what they have to say and what's happening currently. And it's been hugely successful. We've had huge donations. We don't even ask for donations, just people liked what we were doing and they like it as a resource. And so we've been very blessed, but today it's been overwhelming. That's why I kept asking Matt what time he wanted me to come on, because I had to keep refreshing our server because it kept crashing, because so many people from southern Lebanon were trying to log in and add, just a photo of an explosion of a building on it, those kinds of things. Like if they have that kind of information, they can share it with us, give us a brief general idea of the location. They don't have to give us exact locations. We're not trying to dox anyone, but like give us a town or, a simulated location. Are you close to, or what town they think it's in? Because sometimes on a hill in Lebanon, you're staring at an adjacent town or village. So they can mark that as the location as well. But yeah, that's it. I've just
you're admitting right now on live stream that you are a Russian propagandist, trying to give the people free speech. You're just like Davil. Somebody should grab you and say you can't leave here because of the misinformation you're spreading with the truth. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Got it. So Renzo, that's incredible. You're part of building that technology. Bravo to you for doing that, and not to mention managing it right now in real time. That's pretty remarkable and so essential, especially at a time like right now. I'm going to throw up. This is the first thing we saw when this thing broke. This is the first. I guess you could say part of the act of terror that was committed initially through the pager system. This is the first. So I just want to say, like, seeing this happening in a supermarket, and we know that this was targeted at anybody with this device that was provided by Motorola, and it was a lot of doctors and hospital workers, there's passerbys, there's all sorts of types of people had this on them, and we're hearing about these major injuries from this situation that involved people's testicles being blown off. We've seen the footage from the hospital. I'm gonna play that too. So this is the hospital footage of people being rushed into the emergency room. I'm going to bring that down and keep that. I know it's disturbing. I want to keep that in the background for a moment here. For disturbing, but what's more disturbing than this footage, guys, I have to say, is seeing the responses of the Zionists that seem to be high-fiving and celebrating and jumping for joy that they got the terrorists. And I cannot figure out that mindset. At this point, they're revealing themselves to be. I mean, this has to be considered a mental illness right now. If you're watching this in real time, seeing the footage we're watching in real time, and your reaction is celebrating, something must be absolutely wrong. And you're posting it. People are posting this on their social media like cheers of joy. It's sickening to me that anyone can look at this way for two reasons. I want to pass it to both you guys. I want to hear comments so we can have this discussion. But the two things that stand out to me is one, that normally, even if you think you're getting the terrorists, or quote unquote getting the terrorists, you're not understanding that this is an act of terror as it's in of itself, as a state-funded operation. Obviously, citizens are getting hurt in the process. That you have no regard for citizens means you can't even put principle into play, even if you think you're getting the bad guy. None of that makes sense. And even more than that, why do you not think that the same companies that are doing this, the same organizations, the same operations, the CIA, Mossad, wherever it's coming from, as we're following that paper trail, how can you not think for a second it's not going to be used against the next person, you, a neighbor, somebody who they can also deem a terrorist, that you have no inclination, it doesn't cross your mind at all, and you're busy celebrating for joy. What are your thoughts on this, Renzo? And then I want you to jump in as well.
They're just brainwashed. I mean, that's simply it. They're brainwashed into only believing in their cause and ideology, and this is the result of it, unfortunately. I mean, human life is, regardless of which side you're on, it shouldn't matter. It's like human life is significant, should be significant to anyone. And the complete disregard for it in this manner it's tough to defend for anyone, I think, in my opinion. Because it's not only that, but it's such a huge escalation. Hezbollah is going to respond extreme, like it's only going to get worse. Hezbollah has extreme capabilities. They're not like Hamas, where there's maybe 20, 30, 40,000 of them. There's like 250,000 Hezbollah members. I mean, that's a significant military to fight against in their capability. And Israel will also have to pay for this. There will be blowback from this. This just isn't going to go away peacefully if we continue on this ladder of escalation. And it appears, like I said at the beginning, it appears like we're headed in that direction, because you're going to leave Hezbollah with no other choice either. IDF and the Israeli Security Council are going to leave Hezbollah with no other choice but to fight. You're invading them, and so it's a terrible, tragic situation. I don't see how anybody can be celebrating this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Pasta, your thoughts?
Wow. I mean, first off, the fact that people are celebrating this is quite how dumb they are, how small-minded they are. I mean, I do blame a lot of Hollywood of aiding in this kind of mentality, that a lot of our citizens have this G.I. Joe kind of ideology that, this is how you're fighting warfare. I mean, the people who also, and this is also a dangerous, in a nutshell, this explains the whole Donald Trump situation. There are very big supporters of Donald Trump who were applauding this. Denise D'Souza being one of them. Sheriff David Clark, has got close to 1 million followers, applauding this, saying, "Oh, this is the way to fight them with their guerrilla tactics against themselves." I mean, this is also what you are endorsing when you are endorsing a Donald Trump presidency. Has he had any comment about this? Has he said anything about this? Because this, to me, is quite scary. I mean, we have to analyze every aspect of what's going on. We've heard that it came out of different phones, possibly was intercepted on the assembly line, a shipment was grabbed. We got to know exactly what's what. But we've said this before so many times, and we should say it again. Whatever the empire uses abroad, it will eventually come home and use against us. The best tweet I saw coming out of this whole situation was by our good friend Gerald Salente, who said, imagine if the IDF did this with beepers or pagers. Just imagine what the DHS, right, can do to us with our cell phones and our iPhones. The chickens are going to come home to roost. This is terrible because it has an effect like drone warfare. Civilians are going to get killed. Innocent people are going to get killed. There are reports out there now saying that they would just grab the shipment of phones that were going to southern Lebanon, and they're using this to terrorize people across the board. You know what I'm saying? They can't be confident that this only hit Hezbollah members. And that's the mindset of a lot of, like I said, these voters in the United States, these people in the United States who support this Zionist kind of entity to do these sort of things. It is madness. It is brain damage of sorts, and it's where we're headed. So anybody supporting Donald Trump right now, right? And this is this is where I think a lot of people you have the show The Homeless Left, right? I call myself the anti-imperialist left, the common sense left. For so long, we've been looking at the Democratic Party and saying, people realize, look what they're doing here. They're awful. Now we have to make the switch, because the threat right now is on the other side. Is the other side of the two-party illusion, two-party duopoly. It is the Zionist entity. Is the Donald Trump just as bad as Kamala Harris? We get a Zionist either way, but that form of Zionism right now and condemning this kind of thing, this is where the neocons flourish. And what happened here with these cell phones and pagers, I mean, it's scary and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I have to say that in Hollywood here, we are surrounded by a lot of Zionists here. But the good news is, I'll say this as a personal story. One of a colleague of mine who's been kind of an Israel defender this whole last 11 months or so, had quite a reaction. I have to say that this might have woken a few people up, because aside from, if you think Israel's the one that's being attacked and Israel hasn't done anything wrong, there is a principle play. I think people might be able to see it now. We might actually be changing some minds, because I had a conversation, and what happens, like, you hold up okay, so you got your cell phone, right? So everything we've been told, and Pastor, you mentioned this about the right wing, the Trump people. These are people that at some point had been for the Patriot Act, the Homeland Security. We know what's like, all of us having to get on a plane. We take our shoes off. This idea that a hijacker could go on a plane and do another 9/11, this whole thing that's been part of our whole way of culture since 2001. But these cell phones now, as of right now, we know that this cell phone in my hand right now, this is a weapon. All of a sudden. So all of this garbage of taking your shoes off and box cutters can get into a cockpit. Guess what? You can blow up a plane now. by triggering a cell phone. So what is the point at all of anything anymore? If how do we even protect ourselves from this type of technology? We should all be in the street on the same side right now, because they can do this in Lebanon. They can do it right here. They can do it in the sky. They can do it anywhere. They can do it right now and during our show. They don't like something we're talking about it. Boom. This is scary. This is scary stuff.
There are kids who died in this thing too, by the way. A 10-year-old child was murdered. And I mean, you're right. People should be in the street. Sorry, Renzo. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, no worries. I was just listening. No trouble at all.
Let me throw up I do have there was a Lebanon, there was a girl. This was a tweet. We did see this. I'm glad you brought that up, Pasta. Just to humanize the situation for those who think it was all bad guys. All the bad guys got their testicles blown off. Well, Michael Tracy posts, this is what happened to a 9-year-old girl who was killed yesterday in the Lebanon pager attack. Such incredible technological innovation. Couldn't be more impressed. Obviously, he's being facetious. Fatima was in the kitchen on Tuesday when a pager on the table began to beep, her aunt said. She picked up the device to bring it to her father and was holding it when it exploded. Mangled her face and leaving the room covered in blood, she said. Fatima was trying to take courses in English. Miss Maosai said she loved English. That the human side of this, it does give chills down your spine thinking about all the political discourse we've had, all the fighting back and forth, all of the, the protests, the violent attacks on protesters, the police, all this stuff we've been dealing with, fighting for what's right, the footage of Gaza over and over in our cell phones. And then just this one tweet. It reminds you, man, where have we come in humanity right now? Where have we come? And if anybody's not seeing this and feeling something from it, I don't know what to tell you.
And the mainstream media doing its job, whether it be on the right or left, the New York Post, beep, beep, boom, 2,800 Hezbollah terrorist hit by exploding pager plot, right? What about the young kids who died? What about the civilians who got killed? You want us to really believe that they're 2,800, and they use the term, terrorists to once again, push their propaganda. It's sickening that this is applauded and praised and act as if it's a good thing, a sly, clever tactic used by, the Israeli IDF to fight evil. I mean, where we're headed right now, we're in a bunch of trouble. This is just, it is sad the way this is being depicted.
Yeah. I hate to do this, guys. I gotta throw up one of these reactions. This is gonna piss you off, but we expect nothing less from our Hollywood friend. I say friend in air quotes. No. I know people have been on set with the guy. He's in a show right now on some stupid streaming show that's going to be canceled soon.
Brian Stelter?
Here he is. You know him well. Here he is. This is
Brian Stelter.
Michael Rappaport's response.
Ah, damn.
You ready? You ready for Michael Rappaport's response? Here we go.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
I wish he wouldn't root for the Knicks anymore. He's going to jinx us. Or I hope the Knicks reject his bullshit. Like the players say, you know what? We don't want you to come to the game. You don't want to talk about our team. If that's
how far does protest go? Because if I were on set with him right now, and I mean, I very well could be. I'm on and off of sets. He's acting right now. He hasn't retired. He's getting these jobs. Like he has I forget the name of the show. Leslie showed it to me that I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't. He comes on the show. He's playing like this empathetic father. I'm like, oh, he can. I guess he can act because that ain't who he is. I don't want to watch it. If I was on set with him right now, I say the protest goes as far. I walk off set. I walk off. No, wait, who's showing up today? I wasn't told he'd be. No, not doing it. Sorry, I won't be. That type of psychopathic laughing. That's sick. That is twisted. That's not just disagreeing ideologically with someone. That is twisted behavior.
And he's
It's
on the
mental
Democratic
illness.
left side, by the way, right? Like he's for the left side of the establishment. He's for the Democrat. And that's the sickness we have across the board, whether it's Democrat or Republican, right? I mean,
Yeah.
say what you will. I mean, there are some leftists, I guess, pushing back against the Zionist entity, but none really in Congress, none any strong until it's too late. They could throw up empty promises and platitudes like AOC does all the time about we want a ceasefire. They're not really serious about it. They never were, right? They never, when they could have stood up, and so many of them. Everybody talks about, what's her name, Rashida Tlaib. Like, oh my God, no, I remember her mouthing off about Hamas and then going and saying Hamas doesn't represent people. Hamas doesn't do this. I mean, that's scapegoating out, a situation. And so you don't have to take a stance. It's like not taking a stance by saying, well, listen, whether you like Hamas or not, we have to understand the power that they are within their own society. And they were created as an entity of Israel. There's a bigger picture. If I'm kind of saying Hamas and I'm using, I don't stand with Hamas, I'm kind of using that as an excuse from taking a position. We have to understand exactly what Hamas is. We have to talk nuancedly about it. And that's what all these people will do on the left as well, like the Michael Rappaport. So we'll say, do you support Hamas? Do you support Hamas? And that's like, end game for them right there. We have to understand what Hamas is, where it came from, the situation we're in right now. They should no longer be able to use Hamas as an excuse. Israel is the problem. Israel had the Nakba. Hamas was not there in 1945 when they moved everybody off their land. And the problem has been going on ever since. It's like the same people who want to scapegoat and just say, oh, Netanyahu's the problem. No, it's not. Every single prime minister has led over these same policies since 1945 until today. We have to understand the bigger problem for what it is. That's why I'm really excited that later on my show, and Matt will be joining us, we're going to have Derek Bros on to talk about the greater picture and how it fits into everything that Renzo is experiencing on the ground and reporting to us. And by the way, great work, because independent journalism is under attack so much. And I'm thankful that you're able to come on these shows and talk to us and go to the areas and give us a perspective we're just not going to get in the mainstream media. We don't see any more pictures of the crimes and the. I mean, I know you want to say all is fair in blood and war, and they want to make examples or excuses, but the loss of innocent lives from the way Israel conducts these wars. They okay that, Hamas is using these people as human shields. So you're going to go ahead and kill them because they are using human shields? Oh, we're going to blow up phones and civilians can die so we can get some Hamas members or Hezbollah members, and then the media backs that up. Thank you, Renzo, for doing that work.
Right. The media manufactures consent, and it's unfortunate that they do that. They don't give the retroactive perspective that they should be, from the perspective of Gazans living in Gaza. You don't see that on CNN. You don't see a CNN reporter going to Gaza. You'll see them tour with the IDF, but you won't see them tour with the UN and go into a current refugee camp in Gaza and see. It's just not fair reporting. It's not true unbiased reporting. And so I think that it's a real problem that we have in our media. And you're correct in saying that independent journalists and independent media is rampantly under attack. Just like if you look at, I think the other day with Gavin Newsom, what he's trying to do, in California, it's like, wow, these things are only going to get more stringent as we go along. And they're just going to start making up laws as we go along with things that they disagree with if we continue on this path. And mark my words, I think that things are going to get worse in the Middle East before the election, because I think Israel sees an opportunity where the American media is so tied up in the election that they're kind of ignoring what's happening a little bit. Like, it's not getting the same media attention it would if we weren't in an election year. And so that also plays into Israel's hand. And I think that they know that. I think they're very aware of that. And they're using that they're taking advantage of it, really, which is just a shame, because it's going to march, like, if they do invade southern Lebanon, that will give Iran a direct excuse to get involved.
Can I ask a quick question, Matt, to
Yeah.
Renzo? Renzo, do you still think this seems like to me, and I often think about this as a connection to the USS Liberty, right? When I believe the Israelis tried to sink a vessel of ours to get us into that war back then, to draw us in, to make it look like Egypt had shot it down. It seems like this attempt right here again, too, as well, is another desperate attempt to draw Hezbollah and Lebanon into a greater conflict, then infusing the Americans to try to get them involved. It seems like we won't take the bait completely. And I think that the ruling class understands that there's a lot of Americans that even have a red line to say, you're not sending American troops over there to go fight. But it still seems like Israel doesn't want to give up on that. Do you see this as another attempt to try to draw America into a greater conflict?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's without question that's what's developing. Because if Iran does get involved, the United States will absolutely get involved. There's no question. Whether we would or not, it would just be a matter of how fast we could get troops to the Middle East through Al-Assad and through Bayab, which is Baghdad International Airport. Like, we would put troops there so quickly, in Kuwait especially.
Yeah.
It would be a Jordan. Even the troops we have in Syria, we would bulk them up too. It would be major escalation. Here's the thing, is both Israel and Iran have the power to set that region ablaze. Like, they have the power to set that entire region, including Saudi Arabia, including Yemen, including Oman, including Iraq, including Syria. Even worse than they are now. And I don't think people realize just how significant that will be. Do you think gas prices are high now? Or you think that consumer goods are high now? Just wait until that region sets ablaze and that oil shipping routes are disrupted, like the Red Sea with the Suez Canal or the Persian Gulf. It's people are then going to say, okay, you're going to start paying attention then, because you're going to start really paying for it. Or ordinary Americans are really going to start paying for this if that develops, which I hope it doesn't, but that's all signs point to that. So I would say yes. Israel is trying to, in a way, drag us into this. It would appear anyway. That's what I would. There's a good argument for that. I would say.
Yeah, I would just hope moving forward that this. This is the time to act. This is like, Pasi, you mentioned about Trump not saying anything about this, and Trump followers not really looking, not really connecting the dots on this. When language like terrorists is being used, you guys know, anybody who knows that January 6th was a infiltration. It was certainly a Fed infiltration. We know that the language that came out of that was domestic terrorist. So what do you, does it cross your mind that language it can be used anytime and just call someone a terrorist and say we now have the technology we're going to use against you? So this would be the moment. I would say this is the moment. We're in an election cycle. This is like very intense time right now. But even aside from an election cycle, this is the time where we're seeing technology being used against the people. Like, we're all on the same side. Wait, we got to stand up now. The protesters in the street, they want to be cheering. By the way, I want to throw this out. The protesters in the street, if we were to reverse this, if somehow Lebanon was able to detonate devices in Israel, first of all, we would call out all-out war. That would, number one, it would be an absolute declaration of war. Number two, I will tell you this, it's 100%. There's no way anybody in the street for peace right now would be celebrating that. We'd be like, oh my God, did somehow innocent people in Israel just get their testicles blown up? This is the moment, this is our aha moment. We talk about aha moments. This is an aha moment. I think if Trump's not going to say anything, his followers better. If we don't come together and say, everybody in the street right now is for the same thing, against the powerful. They're using our technology against us. This is now a weapon. You can detonate it at any time, call anybody a terrorist. This is no joke. This is the moment of action. That's where I'm at. But of course, we're not going to have the action. We're just talking here, and that's going to be it. And the censorship industrial complex is going to win again.
It's hard to disagree.
Yeah. Yeah. Any last thoughts on as far as what happens next, Renzo? I mean, you're there, right? I mean, you're obviously you're safe in Philly, but you have the communications coming in from Lebanon. You're talking about the escalation. We're at a point where they are striking back. This is are we now heading into the next wave of this thing? What's the next step? What should we be looking out for, in your opinion?
I would say within the next 48 hours, we should look out for Israeli troops to invade southern Lebanon, parts of it, and create what they would call a buffer zone. You'll see it in places like Kiryat or, I mean, there's so many. Yeah, Kiryat Shimona. You'll see it Manara. They're going to start invading southern Lebanon. It seems. I mean, this is the typical. They bomb the crap out of an area to soften it up, to disrupt and to confuse the enemy, and then they push in with troops, with armor personnel carriers, and then infantry and engineers as well, because I'm sure Hezbollah has probably mined a lot of those roads. I saw a video this morning of 2 Hezbollah members getting shot at by IDF because they're planting IEDs on roads leading to Lebanon from northern Israel. So it's clear that Hezbollah has also been preparing for this. They're very aware that this could be a potential plausibility. So I would say in the next 48 hours, we should keep our eyes on northern Israel to see if they actually do, in fact, invade. Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, actually officially declared war. I mean, I know they've been at war since like 1982, but he actually, since the pagers and radios explosion, he actually declared war on Israel. So I think that's going to motivate a lot of his followers and his militias to kind of gear up as well. So I think that we're in for a long fight. The thing I think we should all hope for is that Iran doesn't get involved or get directly involved. I think that would be terrible, because then the United States would probably deploy troops, and that could also lead to World War III. We don't want to fight Iran. Iran is a formidable enemy, and they have 80 million people. It wouldn't be like Iraq or Afghanistan. It would be a much more bloody fight. And so I think we should all hope and pray. If you're a believer in God, hope and pray that this doesn't occur.
Yeah. Thank you for your always thoughtful and courageous reporting, Renzo. I appreciate taking the time with us. Let's see if Pasta's back, he can say bye for a second. But I'll say, if he doesn't come back in, I will also say, oh, here we go. We're going to send off. There you go.
Sorry about that, Renzo. Technical difficulties on StreamYard today.
Yep.
Dude, look at are you seeing the pink background right now?
No.
I am. There's gremlins all over the place. Renzo, thank you so much for doing the work you do. One of the name of the Italian restaurants where I grew up in Boca Raton was called Renzo's. So in your honor, I've been making a lot of homemade pasta, and I made some last night for you, thinking of you. Get back safe, and we'll get you a fresh meal over here.
It is an Italian name, so I appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
Italian food guy. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Posse. It was nice talking to you guys, as always, and have me on anytime.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Renzo.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay. Whew. All right. Well, we're fighting the fight. We're getting through it. And man, it's a great conversation today. Whew, you got time for one more before we do the crossover?
Sure do.
Okay.
Yeah, I got about 10 more minutes, right? Is that good?
We're gonna do I got a 10-minute segment for you. I think it's time for a This Week in Hollywood. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Whose drone shot is that, by the way?
I don't know.
You just got it.
I just put that together on camera. It's kind of funny. People like it, but it's like it just shows what a joke this town has become. We call it This Week in Hollywood because up is down, down is up. There's no values, there's no principles, no morals. But as we maybe should have suspected from the beginning, Hollywood was always a place where people sell out and say, "Pay me the paychecks, show me where to stand. Where's the light? Light my face. Give me my script. Read the lines. It's always been that way. Who's ever actually even had any principles here from the beginning? We love it when these guys go off script, though. They always show their true colors. When they're on script, they're generally pretty good at delivering a line, but we can always see through that as well. But that's why we do this segment once in a while. We had to cover it this today because we got word about Gavin Newsom's new law that I guess he's bragging about right now. Let's see a little. This is the parody comedy share. You're not allowed to share or post anything that's funny that could be considered politically confusing to people. In other words, anything you damn well they want to call dangerous, they can pull it now. So no more comedy, I guess. Let's see the. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show you the thing that got Gavin Newsom pissed off enough to make this rule or make this law here in the state of California. Check this out. Here we go. One sec. Here we go.
Kamala Harris, and your Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I can significant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened. Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
So obviously that's hilarious. When I see these videos, and obviously there's some AI involved as far as getting the voice right, but not always. Sometimes people just do really great, sharp impressions. It reminds me, Craig, of we grew up with this stuff with SNL when Saturday Night Live used to be funny. Saturday Night Live would spoof stuff all the time. You'd always have this commercial that would get that was part of the show. Like every Saturday night, you'd have the opening scene. You'd have the host come out, and they cut to commercial. So that was part of the joke. It was that you would cut into a commercial. The audience would applaud. It we'll be right back. And the first thing you saw every week, you'd see a fake commercial. Obviously, AI didn't exist back then, but it was always funny to say, what are they going to come up with next? Because it was always something that was humorous because it was commenting on something that was very true, and it was finding the humor in it, which we know that's how comedy works. So because we have AI now, you don't necessarily have to do a good impression of the person. You can figure out how to do it more in post-production, but it's still the same fundamentals. You're making fun of what is in society, and you're having fun with it and getting people to laugh and look at it. So the fact that Newsom looks at this and says this is dangerous, this is a sad day here in California, especially the entertainment capital of the world. What a sad place to be, that he's gloating about this, bragging about it, that he canceled this, that this is now going to be illegal to share this kind of stuff because it's confusing people because they think Kamala would actually put a commercial out like that. Go ahead, Pasta.
Well, I mean, obviously they're going to say that, because it's theater the other way around when they would do these commercials you would talk about on Saturday Night Live. It was like the absurdity law. It was so absurd that they can't be really taken as true, that it had to be deemed comedy. Whereas if now with AI, it seems so true that the people would question it, right? It's still just more about narrative management and controlling the rhetoric out there. I mean, at the end of the day, they will argue the fact that it's misleading, that people would actually think that that did come from Kamala Harris. I mean, that's hard to kind of, believe that sort of thing. But since the AI is here now, that's what they would argue about. So look for that argument to be made. But this is just more or less, and this is the area where it's very hard to fight back against people who, from the populist right, Matt, that would say, this is the lesser of two evils argument, right? Donald Trump would never ban what Gavin Newsom is doing. At the Democrats would do that stuff. Sandy, AOC, she even talked about deplatforming, told her people to report people who are being bullying or cyberbullying. That's when the day after that, the Convo Couch has been demonetized ever since that day. That's the argument that will be made on this situation. And at the end of the day, we have to look at this in a nuanced way, and we have to understand, no matter what, free speech, right? And I know people say this is not free speech, this is manipulation. Does it make a difference? This should be allowed to happen, as long as people identify where it's coming from or who it is. And I mean, it is one of those things, because if you give an inch and you say, okay, you're going to say that this is justifiable because we want people to understand the truth out there, right? Yet they accept the fact that mainstream media is nothing more than propaganda, and that is okay to be about truth. And then truth tellers like us are silenced. That's the area where it becomes murky, and it's in danger, because now you have the state telling you what to hear. And if you say that this is okay, they'll manipulate anything that they don't like. And that's what they're doing in this situation. They're getting rid of any voices that they don't like. So by allowing Gavin Newsom to do this without any pushback, I was going to say untethered, I don't know if that's the proper terminology, but just allow him to do certain things like this. We saw absurdity laws when it came to COVID, when they were trying to pass certain things. You are not allowed, you shouldn't allow the government to put these restrictions on anything or anything similar to this.
Yeah.
Deep fakes, AI, it's a way of life. It's the way it's going to be. I would much rather say, okay, there has to be one of those little labels down below and saying, this is really not Kamala's voice. You know what I'm saying? It is a AI thing, whatever. I mean, I don't know about that, but I'd much rather see that than them just get rid of it altogether and let them be the deciding factor on what can stay and what can go. That's the problem.
This is so frustrating because we're here in Hollywood, and people that are creatives that have grown up thinking about what's funny and producing stuff that gets an audience to laugh and being edgy and being politically, kind of risky sometimes. It's your Gavin Newsom is taking this completely away from us now and saying you can't do that anymore. I'm going to tell you how and when you can do it. And I'm not going to buy the BS that it's just because of the AI voice. The AI voice, that's the only, if you just don't have that, no, you're going to go further and say, well, that impression of the person was so good, I got confused. So you can't even do the impression anymore. You want an example? How about this one? This is one of the funniest ones I've seen. There's no AI involved here. This is just the Kamala person. Obviously, she doesn't really have it, but the Trump guy sounds exactly. There's no AI involved in this one. Check this one out. This is a quick one. Just so you can see what's next to be banned. Are they going to ban? Is Newsom going to ban this one too?
I agreed to debate because I love debate and I'm a very good debater. I love to debate.
That's debatable. Okay, very debatable.
What are my thoughts on immigration?
I think it's a perfectly fine question.
It's a very nasty
question. And we're going to be
question.
doing a lot because there are people over there and there are people over here, okay? And we want...
It's coming in kind of murky.
Slow down, little Kamala. Don't hurt yourself. There's people they want to come...
clear, or is it me?
Okay.
Is yours coming in very murky or no?
I saw it fine on my end, but I'm looking at the other screen on Rumble and it was choppy. So let's do this. When we throw this up,
it was choppy on
Yeah, when we throw it up in post, shoot, let me do a little messing here. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Let's see. Maybe are we better now? How are we now? Are we good?
We're fine. It was when you're playing the video. that was choppy.
Okay. So we got the gist of the video. We'll in
Yeah,
post we'll play the whole thing so people can see it. But we
Sorry to
got the
interrupt you
idea.
there.
No, it's okay. I don't want to. I won't go back to the video right now. We'll throw this clip. We'll throw the segment up, and I'll put the whole thing in.
It was a good
People-
impression by both of them, right? I mean, what you're saying is that if it gets too good, then they're going to go after that. I think a better example would be is that if they're really, if if they're gonna have to explain why they're doing this, you have to say, okay, Gavin Newsom, why are you doing this? We're doing this because we want to protect the integrity of the proper information from the candidates who are there getting that information out, or just in general, we want to have integrity, right? We don't want to mislead people. Well, then why are you not fighting for those voices out there that are independent who want to have a say? You're putting them in the same category as the AI that we're sending out misinformation simply because we don't agree with the state narrative or the oligarchs narrative which you represent, Mr. Gavin Newsom. And if this really was about protecting the integrity, you would have a public forum, right? The public square of free ideas and free voices, but you're not doing that. You're only supporting those with the keys to the kingdom of the voices that are on your team side. And that's what this is really about, just protecting, against the influential speech against you. I mean, and will be used back and forth. Gavin Newsom will start it off, and then the Republicans will then use it. I mean, look at the anti-BDS laws from the Republicans that are being pushed all over the place, like Ron DeSantis. So that's why there has to be nuance from both sides here to say, hey, you can't do this. It's not up for you to tell us what is true and what is false, Gavin Newsom. It's up to us to decide what is true and what is false. Exactly. And to see things freely. That's it.
That's it. Well said. Always applying principle. We got to do it, guys, even when it's inconvenient to do so. Apply principle. I don't care if you're a Trumper or if you're a vote blue, no matter who. Everyone should look at this and know it's wrong. It's going to eventually be used against you. So that's the big takeaway on This Week in Hollywood. Craig, I know we're going to be doing the crossover here. Well, you want to get set up, and we'll move over. And I think if we do that, we might have a better chance at cleaning some stuff up if we switch StreamYard links. That could be a good thing. Yeah.
I got to set that up. Do you want to play your closing out and we'll transition on in?
Well, why don't you go ahead and set it up and then send it to me? I'm going to read some comments here, and we're going to do a little talking back with the crowd. And then I'll come over on the new link, and we'll pause it here, and then everybody can kind of come over with us. I think that can work.
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Before you go,
I'll set you up. I'll come on over.
Before you go, hold on. I'm going to put this up. I just got a card up so you can see. I want you to see this card. I put this together last night. It's going to be part of our outro. Here it goes. Oh, it's processing. Okay, here we go. Give me 1 second here. Here we go. Oh, shoot. It's not. Oh, here we go. Boom.
Hey!
Come on.
Look at that. Look, you look like a vampire there.
Okay. So that's coming up. We're going to tell people to stick around.
I don't even want to tell you what I look like, but thank you. Yeah. Send that on over. That's great, buddy. We're going to get over there right now.
Awesome. Okay.
See that right there? You got that blast. That's what it looks like out my window after that blast.
That's right.
That's LA for you, ladies and gentlemen. If we keep going the way we're going, we allow these psychopaths to just walk us into a Malthusian plan of World War III. I'll see you in a little bit, Matt.
Okay. Take it easy, Pasta. See you in a bit.
You got it, buddy.
Okay. All right. Closing out the hour 3 here. We're gonna do a little talking back. I'm gonna do it on my own here, guys. For a few, and then we're gonna we're gonna pause with you guys, and the new link will be shared, and it'll cross right over into the Pasta Show. So let me just take a few of these. If we have time, I think we got a few minutes. We could do like 10 minutes. Let's do that. Okay. This will be a talking back segment with Matt. As Leslie's little character is going to lead in, but I'll go ahead and cover it today. Here we go. All right, it's time for a little talking back with Leslie, but this time it's with Matt. Okay, looking at some of the comments today we had some great conversations today. We had Harry Fisher, the EMT whistleblower, on. We've had a great discussion with Craig Pasta and Renzo Zindi about the pager attack, the terrorist attack that Israel committed in Lebanon. We talked a little bit about the Trump second assassination attempt in campaign news, and we covered a little bit of World War III watch with the UK egging on nuclear war with Russia and US by their side. Interesting. Okay, so let's get to some of the comments here. What do we got? We got I usually usually Leslie does. Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to comment on this. I saw this come in earlier. Airways. Sorry, Matt. Not subjectively terrorism. Attacking civilians with exploding electronics is literally terrorism. Abso-effing-lutely, Airways. It is literally terrorism. Yeah, the reason that my verbiage sounded that way was because that was me giving them the hypothetical that if they were right, it still would be bad. Which they're not. So I didn't mean to mess around with that language so directly, even insinuating even slightly that it wasn't terrorism, because it absolutely was. But we, even with the benefit of the doubt, they're still wrong. They're still on the wrong side of it, because it's the humanity behind it all. That they completely just completely dismissed. The Zionist mind will completely dismiss the humanity part of it. So appreciate that. Yes, thank you. Glad to be here again today. Mackenzie Hart, thank you. Oh, I think this came in about the conversation with Harry Fisher. We were talking religion a little bit, the different religions, different people, religious, non-religious, spiritual, coming together on this populist movement against challenging the medical arena, the big pharma problem with COVID and all the stuff that went down. You need to read Darwin. Pretty obvious to explain things once you know how things really work. I appreciate that. Yes, I will. I do like Darwin. I'll check out more. I do appreciate that very much. Let's see. Oh, okay. So let's do this. So the do you have a YouTube channel? This is something that for those that are new to the channel, you know that we had a YouTube channel. YouTube has terminated the homeless left. I'll repeat that again. YouTube has terminated the homeless left. We were doing all of our journalism on the two platforms. We're on Twitter as well, but on Rumble, on YouTube, and they gave us these warnings for medical misinformation. After the I guess second, third warning or whatever, we were in something like 2-week penalty. We didn't even touch healthcare. We didn't even touch medical anything. And then we woke up one morning and they just had the channel off. So we didn't even get the final warning. And the last, when they removed it, they didn't even give us a cite a video. Where the last ones, they would cite a video in the warnings. They were wrong, but at least they would cite a video, and we would be like, oh, that's not true. That's not medical misinformation. That's us having discussions, having conversations, reporting the news, reporting what other people were reporting on other networks or other channels, and they weren't getting taken off. So we were certainly being targeted. So no, we are working on another YouTube idea with Pasta. It's in the works. So we will be back. It'll be a different alternation. We can't use the homeless left on YouTube. That will remove us immediately, but we have a different thing in mind. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Let's see. What else? Okay. This one's got the IDF uses Motorola as a main supplier for its communication equipment, which enables them to effectively control the occupied Palestinians. They also manufacture the bomb fuses used in IOF bombs. Okay, it's good to know. That's some Motorola. We got to stay clear of Motorola. I guess that's really one of the big takeaways today. That, and I guess don't have your cell phone in your hand when you think you might get blown up by a 3-letter government agency or the Mossad. I don't know. So yeah, this is good to keep that in mind. Let's see. Oh, Leslie was on this. Yes, this 100%. I think that was during the conversation with Pasta and with Renzo. Thank you, Leslie, and we hope be back and have you back doing this next week, because I'm not good at it. I can't do it like you can. That's for sure. Okay. What else do we got here? Oh, we got some comments on the Pasta channels. I'll leave those alone just because we're running out of time here. Oh yeah, of course. I know what you're talking about, Leslie. That's the laughter at the end of that clip. We'll probably replay it. Yeah, this clip. No, I'm not going to play it right now. But the clip, that's Kamala's laugh. It's so good. But no, I guess it's illegal to share that now. It's illegal to share in California. If you're in California, they can not just suspend you. I think it's now going to be a crime. This is crazy. A crime to share parody comedy on your social media. And Donald Trump wants to take our freedoms away. Donald Trump wants to take our democracy away. But yeah, that makes sense, Gavin Newsom. Keep us all in line here in California. Don't let us share anything funny. All right, we got anything else? Yeah, Airways parody is protected free speech under Supreme Court ruling. Well, according to Gavin Newsom, he can override the Supreme Court in the state of California. So I guess that's not the case anymore. I guess they can redefine what parody means. If AI is involved, they could say it's not parody anymore. The intent is to fool people. Well, no, the intent is to get people to laugh. That's the intent. None of this stuff's going out with any sort of like intention to fool you. They want you to see how ridiculous she is. That's the point. Okay, we're gonna get on to Craig real soon here. Let me do one more. One more and we'll end this. Oh, this is great. Thanks for pointing this out, Miguel H. G. Motorola stocks fell yesterday. Hell effing yeah. I was worried they would go up, but that's a good sign. They went down. Okay, well, something's happening. Who knows? Maybe people are starting to wake up. We told you earlier that the conversation I had, a personal conversation I had with a regular Zionist, as far as so a colleague here that been defending Israel for the last 10, 11, 12 months, all of a sudden it says, you know what? This might be a problem. This might be a problem. The technology that they can use against the American people. Holy crap. We're not it's not about defending Israel or going out, anti-Semitic this or that. No, we're in a new territory now. So yeah, I hope Motorola stock fell. I hope people rise up. This is not a party issue. This is a people issue. Come on, guys. We got to stop the machines, man. We're in Terminator 2 territory now. We have to stop. We have to rise up together and not let the machines rise, because I think that's what we're literally living a Hollywood movie while people in Hollywood stay silent. Okay, that's it for Talking Back with Leslie. Okay, we're going to end the show now and jump over to Craig's show. So I'll just say this. Thanks to everyone for the awesome conversations, toughing it out with us today. You guys want to stick around because we're gonna share a new link. I'm gonna pause this one and we're gonna go to this. So stay tuned for Pasta to Go. We're gonna be on there with Don DeBar on the same. Just stay put. And I'm gonna play us out right now with a really funny sketch that we saw that came up. This is actually a really cool a musician that likes to do parody music, which I hope they don't make that illegal. So let me put this banner up. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out, and we'll see you guys. Just stick around, and we'll see you guys in a bit on Pasta to Go, which should be starting up right now. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week. We're all new Homeless Left live next Thursday noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.
I'm campaigning for Ukraine. MK Ultra so insane. I've been groomed for my CIA debut. I'm a patsy paparazzi. You're a MAGA-hatted Nazi. Watch me goon over fake news that I consume. We will hit him. Shit, we missed him. Now I'm sitting in a cell. Well, Zelensky, does he miss me? Did we kiss? I won't First our spooky little crooks, we goofed his bully for his looks. They fabricated Yerrick kook like Sandy Hooks. Oh my goodness, please don't sue me. I am as fake and gay as you see soon. Like Jeffrey, I will suddenly go poof. His list hidden, we're getting diddy. That pretty island is our design. Illuminati, our retardi, the moribund bloodline. We got propped up by Black Rock. I was comrades with Azov, Mazel Tov, a drop of up. I'm Gladio. If you know how to spot it, you'll start noticing a lot how the cabal is totally out of control. We nicked him, then played victim. We are sickening crocodiles. David Icke's very rightsy. Our alligator smiles. If you see news with crews and cameras, pay your dues and mind your manners, since the planners have to handle every stage. Hey, look, MSNBC was already there unseen. See Doug Mills' bullet pick we prearranged. Like Zapruder, we recruited and diluted every frame. We must capture live feet of splatter, your sacrificial brains. And how we nabbed him in Manhattan, but now we're batting 042. Keep celebrating while you're paging, we're detonating you. Hey!